Welcome, and thank you for watching. Today I'm going to talk about the history of RoloPolo. A student once asked me if I could make a game, and I said I believe so. So the student said, well, why don't you? I thought of a couple ideas, and one of the ideas was a silly game where you threw items at each other. It's kind of like American Super Mario Bros. 2 meets League of Legends. The first prototype, as you can see, was very rough. It was made in Game Maker and supported only a split-screen multiplayer capability. Right away you can see the point of the game. Plants give you items, you can find different items, attack the base. The dungeons were added here. You had to go in and defeat all the monsters to destroy this dungeon so you could get to the spawn point and win the game. There were obvious bugs. Once this was done, as you can see, the blue characters attacking the red base and the blue wins. After we liked the game, we wanted to move forward. I started learning Unity. And you can see here a couple different rough prototypes, just simple proof of concepts on how to use Unity. This is one example I did, trying to set up a base. The prototype beta version 1, you can see the game coming together at this point. I was using a different character than the fuzz characters at the time, but this character is actually akin to the Speedster in the alpha release. Here you had to find a little yellow key to unlock more powerful items. A couple of major problems: the map was too large, advanced items were not necessary, and the game would take roughly 45 minutes, especially with the triple level defense. So each base is kind of set up the League of Legends style, so there's 2 layers of towers with a home base and you had to destroy first before you could actually destroy the spawn point. Also obvious here, I did not have any textures really set up for the level except for the grass, which ended up being changed, and so the graphics were not in place. This was the first version of the game that was tested with my family. We played this over Christmas break. So prototype version 2, a little more refined, still using the map that was too large. I tried to add some textures to the blocks, and you'll see that actually right now these blocks, these walls, are 3D objects. So it's very difficult to get the textures to mesh. This version I brought in the master keys. There's a large red keys. You had to find these keys and then go unlock the appropriate door in the appropriate dungeon to find a yellow key. I was still pretty devoted to this idea of having a sub-level, like a little mini dungeon in the main level. I ended up abandoning that during the alpha, simply because it was too complex. And again, it still took too much time to get the advanced items, and it was not worth it. It was more efficient for the team just to attack with basic items, the tower defenses, and then try to win the game that way. These monsters here are cannon creeps, and ironically enough, they did not make the final cut. So they probably will come back eventually. Here's the yellow key. Once I get the yellow key, I can then go find the bomb and unlock it. As you can see with this map and character moving around, it was quite large. To be fair, if you had probably an 8 versus 8 game, this map would be appropriately sized. Otherwise, it was just too large. The 3v3, you would never see anyone else unless you were attacking the base. And then you see a bug where one bomb destroys a tower. That was also fixed. Here you can also see the implementation of the store. And here, if I had enough gold and I stepped on this item, then I would get a bomb, but unfortunately I don't have enough gold, so I can't show that. So the final version, you'll see that the tile system was implemented, and it looks a lot better. Again, still using different characters, but you can see the towers, and it's beginning to look a lot like what the alpha release looks like. I still have the dungeons. I'm still holding out for the dungeons, and you'll see here that they have their own icons. Well, that one doesn't. I guess I don't have them on this version, but I did actually have different dungeon icons, but it was just too complex still. Here you can see the dungeon's a little more simple, easier to get the key. At this point, I had taken out the gold keys altogether, and then the master keys would be taken back to the overworld, so to speak, and here you would find the item with the appropriately colored lock and be able to unlock it. Here I was able to use a tile map, or a tiler basically, to make a background with 2D tiles. I have not found a good tool for that in Unity 5 yet, but I'll have to figure out a solution for that. The gameplay was still reevaluated at this point. Decided a smaller map was needed. I ended up experimenting with several different types of maps, and each time continuously made them smaller. Also, the dungeons here, you can see I destroyed a rock. I get a throwing star. The dungeons were just too complex. Also, the AI didn't like them, so I ended up taking the dungeons out. And kind of a radical change, just to test it out, I gave the teams a bomb, healing potion, and throwing star to start with, and that made the game quicker and actually more fun, because usually like the first half of the game was just trying to get the basic advanced items. I also reduced the defense of the base down to one layer of towers. Here you can see still had the fortress, and I introduced the boss mask here. You had to destroy the boss mask to destroy the fortress. Then you could destroy the crystal or the nexus. I still had 2 layers of towers, which kept the game very long. So also noticed I'm missing health bars in this version. So I reduced it down 1 layer of towers. I appreciate you watching this. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please click like and share if you did. Also, if you liked the video or if you liked the game, please give it a shot. I'll post a link in the description of this video.